Hi everyone, we're going to take a look at how to perform a ChiSquare goodness of fit test in SPSS. So to begin with, it's probably a good idea to understand what kinds of data we can use for this type of test. And it's basically a single sample non-parametric test. We use it to determine whether a distribution of cases in just one single categorical variable follows a known or a hypothesis distribution. So when we're talking about a known distribution, it's just where we know what proportion of, for example, males versus females exist in a country. Or when we're talking about a hypothesis distribution, we're talking about a proportion of males versus females maybe that we anticipate that maybe are going to vote for a particular party in the next elections. All right. And some other things to know about using this type of test is there are a few assumptions that we kind of go by when we're performing it. And of course, the one is that we are comparing just one categorical variable. And when we say categorical, that includes either dichotomous variables, which are just groups of two. So maybe you're looking at a comparison between males and females, or nominal variables, which are variables in which there are more than two, like ethnicity. There can be several groups there, or we're talking about ordinal variables, and this is where there's some kind of order to it. It's not numerical, but for example, maybe winners of a race, first, second, third place. Another assumption is that you have independence of observations, and that means there's no relationship between any of your cases. And the assumption number 3 is that the groups in our categorical variable are mutually exclusive. In other words, a participant couldn't be in more than one category. They can't be both if we're using the example of maybe exercise level, they can't be in both a high level and a low level. And the final assumption is that there is at least 5 expected frequencies in each group of your categorical variable. So at least 5 people, or a frequency of 5 would be in each category. And you'll see that when we run the test. So it's pretty simple to run it in SPSS. You simply you go to the Analyze, Non-Parametric Tests, Legacy Dialogues, and choose ChiSquare. So let's give it a try. Our data consists of, let's take a look at the data here. We have age categories, right? So there's several categories here. And then we have gender, males and females. And then we have, this data is based on, a debate that they had in the political arena between several candidates, and they sort of measured to see how many people preferred different candidates before the debate, and then if they wanted to see if there was a change afterwards. So then we have how many people preferred the different categories after the debate. So when we perform a ChiSquare goodness of fit, we're only looking at one category at a time. So if you select Analyze, Non-Parametric Tests, Legacy Dialogues, and then ChiSquare, and then let's reset this. Let's say we want to see all of our, what people preferred before the debate to see if there's a difference. We're going to just assume that all of the categories are going to be equal, so we're not going to change the expected values. However, if you know beforehand, remember you can have a hypothesis number, you can add that here. And so we're just going to click OK. And to see if there is a significant difference, you look at the SIG score here, and if it's 0.05 or less, then you have a significant difference, and it is. So then you want to look at, well, where are the larger differences maybe? So we're looking at the expected values, and you can see they're all even. So they were expecting to have an even number in each category, and here's what was actually observed. And then the residual would be the difference between the two. And you can see there was quite a large difference between the candidate named Dean. There was 116 under, and also for Cruz. And that was the expected or the observed was quite a bit more, right? And you know, when you perform this test, you can actually do in SPSS for this non-parametric test, if you can actually throw in several variables all at the same time. So let's reset. And get a chi-square goodness of fit for each individual variable. It's not going to do any comparisons between, say, before and after the debate, but it will look at the different categories within each of those variables to see if there is a difference. And so you can see it has the age, gender, and before and after. And then you can look, here's age, gender, before and after, and look for their significance. And it seems each one of these variables have a significant difference, even gender. So there was quite a few fewer males than females. So that's interesting. And so that's how you perform a chi-square test. Thanks for listening.